Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Extreme Metalhead Gaming Podcast. Yes, I know it's a very unorthodox name, but you know, why not? I couldn't think of any other bloody name for this thing. So today we're going to be talking about, for the first episode of this podcast, I'm going to be talking about my top 5 favourite games of all time. And these games, they're not really in any particular order, they're just kind of like, I don't know, because if I had to put these in order, I'd be here all day like trying to figure out which one's better than the other one. But yeah, I'm just going to go with it and see, you know, where it goes. Now, like, a lot of these games are going to change. Like, I am probably in like 3 years' time, these might not be my favourite games anymore, but for now, oh shit, I keep fucking doing that with my microphone. But for now, these are probably my most favourite games of all time. And I don't know, some of them I'm kind of like, I almost didn't make it onto the list, but I thought I should add them anyway, just because of how important they are to me. And some of them probably could be interchangeable with other games, but these are just the ones that I could think of off the top of my head. Like, when I thought top 5 favourite games of all time, these are the 5 games that came to my head. So, starting off with a bit of a weird one, and this is one of the ones that I kind of just added in because I wasn't really sure what else, but this game, it is really bloody good. It's Infamous. That was on PS3. I think it came out 2009, I think. And I remember a lot of it, this is a reoccurring thing, a lot of these games on this list I played when I was quite young. Not like really young, but younger than I am now. So that's a lot of the reasons why I like these games so much, is just the nostalgic like value that I have for them. But yeah, Infamous. So this game, I think, came out 2009 on the PS3, PlayStation 3 exclusive game, and mate, it is so bloody good. To be fair, Infamous 1 and Infamous 2 are both good. I could probably have changed this to Infamous 2, but whatever, I've done the third. I'm going to talk about the first one. The first Infamous game was, I don't know, it was in that weird era of games in the PS3 where every game had to have like a brown filter. Every game had to be sort of gritty and just really dark. I mean, Infamous isn't too dark, but it has got its dark moments. And in this game you play as, it's kind of like a post-apocalyptic, apocalyptic superhero game or supervillain game, because in this game there's like a karma system. You can either be a hero or a villain, and that's probably one of the best things about this game, is the fact that you can choose whether to be good or bad. You can be a superhero or supervillain. It is completely up to you, and the choices that you make actually do affect the story. Like, whether you're a good guy or a bad guy, it will affect what happens in the story. Probably like more in the second one it affects the story, because in this one you kind of do get like the same ending, like the same thing kind of happens, but it's just a little bit different. But in the second one, the story plays out completely differently. But in this one, it's kind of, it plays out kind of similar, dependent, like, no matter what one you choose. And it's just an amazing game. Like, I really want them to do a remaster or remake of this game. The gameplay is so good. You've got electric powers, and it just feels so nice to play. Good gameplay. The map, one thing, this might be just a me thing, but it's quite a small map as well, which I kind of like. And because of all the traversal stuff you have, like, you can like jump on like train tracks, and because you've got electric powers, it will like glide you along. You've got like air thrusters that can make you hover in the air. I think that's kind of it. You can like parkour across buildings and stuff, and it honestly, the map really like lends itself to the gameplay really well. The story is really good. You play as Cole McGrath. He what happens is he's a bike messenger, and he gets this package delivered to him, and it turns out it's this like huge like bloody bomb that goes off. But when it goes off, it sets off, basically the bomb gives him his powers, and it also gives other people that have this sort of like superhero gene, it gives them their powers as well. It's kind of like some people have the superhero gene, some people don't, and the people that do, this bloody like bomb that's gone off has set off their powers, and they've activated their powers, I guess I'll call it. And it's a good story, good gameplay, and it actually, to be fair, if the graphics were better, I think this game would have aged really well. Like, I think the only thing holding it back is like the 2009 graphics. If this game released today with updated graphics and maybe like a bigger map or whatever, I think it would do really well. Anyway, it's enough talking about that game now. So I've gone for a bit of a different type of game for the second choice, but a lot of people will know it. It's called GTA 4. Obviously, it's one of like the biggest games in the world, and it's just I like it more than GTA 5, and I think it's because it's such a dark story. Again, this is like a 2008 game. Like I said, a lot in this era of gaming, it was a lot of dark and gritty stories, and this one was done really well, and it's probably one of the best stories in a GTA game ever. So you play as Niko Bellic. He's a Serbian guy who moves to New York because his cousin Roman sends him emails saying, oh, you should come to New York, and basically makes out like he's this big rich guy with this Roman, his cousin. Turns out he isn't, but that's not really the main part of the story. The main part of the story is that Niko is a Serbian war veteran, and he was betrayed by he was betrayed by one of his friends in his, I think it was in a village that he lived in. He got betrayed in the war, some sort of, I'm not 100% sure, to be honest, but basically the reason he's come to New York, or Liberty City as it's called in the game, is to try find the person that killed all his old friends from where he used to live, pretty much. It's kind of like a revenge story, but the story doesn't revolve around the revenge. That's kind of just like motivation for what happened. It's hard to explain. It's kind of like the revenge part is kind of kicked to the side, but it's there to kind of serve the reason as to why he's come to New York, and basically the reason why he starts getting into crime and helping out all these like crime bosses and all this kind of stuff. And it's honestly so good. Like the gameplay, I think it even outdoes GTA 5 some ways with the gameplay. Like the ragdoll physics were way more updated. I mean, if you think about San Andreas, there wasn't any ragdoll physics at all. Like when you crash into a car or whatever, or get run over, your character it does the same animation, like no matter what. But in GTA 4, they have this sort of, I'm not 100% sure, but they've got this technology that no matter, like, whatever you do, if you fall from a high place, if you get hit by a car, if you drive your car fast enough into something, you'll fly out the windshield. And the ragdoll physics are bloody amazing, because no matter what you do, it'll always be different every single time, because it's kind of like an engine that simulates real life. To be honest, I have no idea how it works, but I think that was really cool, and the story's just amazing. The shooting is so good. I think it's 10 times better than the GTA 5 shooting. It just feels so much more like punchy and weighty. Like when you shoot a gun, it just kind of like feels like, because kind of in GTA 5 it kind of does feel like you're shooting like a BB gun or a Nerf gun. I don't know if that'll make any sense, but in GTA 5 you don't really feel the power of the gun, but in GTA 4 it really does feel like, oh, I'm this war criminal badass guy who's got all these guns in his back pocket, and he's just going around shooting all these people. You just feel like a massive gangster. And yeah, I'll try not to spend too much time speaking on each game, because I've got quite a few to go through, but I just kind of want to glance on that. GTA 4 is an amazing game and an amazing GTA game, and I think also the thing that I like about it so much is the fact that it's what I used to play. It's a GTA game I grew up on pretty much. I mean, a lot of people grew up on San Andreas. Well, I grew up on GTA 4, and obviously I probably shouldn't have been playing it when I was that young, but oh well. And it's just, I don't know, I just have such good childhood memories of that. I don't know if that sounds weird, having childhood memories on a GTA game, you know, like an M-rated game, but I did, and it was, I kind of miss it a little bit, to be honest. Right, anyway, that's enough for talking about GTA 4. Let's talk about The Last of Us. Now, I was thinking whether to do the first or second Last of Us. I think both games are phenomenal. I think both games are amazing. They're both masterpieces, but I think the first game I enjoy more. Not because of like, I'm not saying that the second game's bad. I think it's more of just the first game. It's just, I like the first game because it's such a simple story, but the characters are so complex. Like, the characters just carry the whole thing. And I think the second game also has really good characters, but the story is a lot more complex in the second game, so it is kind of hard to follow along the second game. Like, I can remember almost every part of the first game, but with the second game, because it's a lot longer and a lot more complicated, I do forget parts of it. So I will say the first game. Also, I played the first game when it came out. I remember I was probably about 7 or something like that. It was in 2013. I went to Asda, and I saw The Last of Us PS3 on the shelf, and it had a massive sticker on it that said, "From the developers of Uncharted 3." And at that time, I loved Uncharted. Uncharted was one of my favourite game series. I'm going to talk about it a bit later on, but I absolutely loved Uncharted. And yeah, I remember just begging my mum to buy it, and she let me buy it. And I can't remember whether I knew it was like I think I knew it was a zombie game, but I had no idea what I was getting into. I just kind of thought, oh, it'll be a bit like Uncharted. I mean, it's from the same developers. It'd probably be a bit the same, you know. 7-year-old me probably thought it was gonna like have a Nathan Drake cameo in it or something. And the thing is, at the time when I played it, I thought I really did like it, but I wasn't as concentrated on the story as I probably should have been, because, you know, when you're 7 years old and you're playing a game, you're mainly focused on the gameplay. You're not really bothered much about the story. And I remember I did like the story, but it's not, how do I explain this? Like, it's not what I concentrated most on. But since then, I've probably played this game about like 7 times or something stupid like that, and I just absolutely love the story, the characters, everything. It's just so great. The gameplay is really good as well. I love how they did a zombie game, but they also put their own twist on it, like because they're cordyceps infected, like mushroom shit. I don't bloody know. And I just think it's really cool how they put a little instead of just doing normal plain zombies, they actually put twists on it, and it's actually based on a real life thing that infects insects as well. I thought that was really cool how they did that. And yeah, just the story of Joel and Ellie is amazing. And the thing is, the HBO TV show came out, well, it was probably about a year ago it came out now, but the TV show was really good as well, and it just kind of sells the fact that video game stories have become so bloody good that they can now be made into TV shows and be just as good, if not better. Anyway, next game, I think this is a bit of an obvious one. Everyone loves this game, Red Dead Redemption 2. What a masterpiece this game is. I remember, I think I was probably in year 8, I'd be like 13, I think 12 or 13, when I played this, I remember I was so excited for this game to come out. I couldn't get it on release. I had to wait till Christmas. I think it came out October 2018. I got it for Christmas, and when I got it, I literally non-stop played it. Every day I'd come home from school and play it. I think it took me about a month to beat the story, because it took me about a month to complete the story, because I remember looking on, if you go on your trophies on the game, it shows you like when you earn the trophy, and the one for completing the game I got about a month later. And what an amazing game. I mean, I love the first Red Dead Redemption, and I was tempted to put that there instead of Red Dead 2, but oh my god, Red Dead Redemption 2, I don't even know what to say. Like, what is there to say that's not already been said about this game? It's an amazing game, amazing story, amazing open world, just amazing graphics, amazing everything. Probably the only thing that I didn't like about it was a bit slower pace compared to other, like, if you look at the first Red Dead game, or maybe even the GTA games, it is a lot slower pace, but I kind of like that about it, I guess. And also, I don't know, I do really like it, but in some ways, I do prefer the first game. I don't know, if I had to explain this, I'd literally be here all day, but it's just an amazing game. You know, I know I've said amazing about 20 times, but I absolutely love this game. And the weird thing is, I've got kind of nostalgia for it now. I mean, it's almost 6 years old. Well, it's 5 years old, this game, which is weird. It feels like it literally came out like a month ago. It did not feel that long that this game came out. And I don't know, I don't really play it much nowadays, because obviously I've kind of completed the story, and I've done like quite a few of the side activities, but I'm not too fussed about trying to get all the side activities done. Like, that's not really my kind of thing, to be fair. Right, finally, I'm gonna have to be quick with this. Uncharted 2 is my all-time favourite game. I know if I had to rank this list in terms of best to worst, Uncharted 2 would definitely be best. I remember, there's a lot of I remembers in this podcast. It was the first ever game I ever had on my PS3. It wasn't the first ever game I ever played, but when I got my own PS3, it was the first ever console I ever owned, like it was mine. I had Uncharted 2, and I probably was only about 5. It's one of the first ever games I ever played. And I just remember, like, I used to really like trains, so I loved Uncharted 2 because it had a train part in it. And the beginning of the game where you watch the cutscene and Nathan Drake's in the train and he looks out the window and he turns out it's dangling off a cliff and you've got to climb up the train or whatever. There's also the part where it's the flashback showing what happened, where you're on the train fighting people, you get on a bloody tank on the train, there's a tank on the train, and you start shooting at this bloody helicopter. It's bloody ace, it's an ace game. And, even the characters carry the game so much. Like, Nathan Drake, even though he's a bit cliche and a bit cocky, he's an amazing character. The villain Lazarevich, where even though he's like a massive stereotype of like every villain in every film or game ever, he's still so entertaining. I think the acting is so good as well. And just the environment and the atmosphere of the game, I love that it's set in Nepal, in Asia. It's just such a good setting. It's so unique to that game. I don't know if there even is any other games that are set in Nepal. There probably is, but not once as big as Uncharted 2. It's just absolutely amazing. I can't even like describe it this quick. Like, I can't even just say everything that I want to say on it. And yeah, that is it. Maybe one day I'll do an updated video on this. Maybe even provide a bit more context on why I like these games so much. I know it's been a bit quick, I've only spent probably like a few minutes on each game, but thanks for joining me on the first ever episode of this podcast. There'll be a lot more to come soon, and yeah, thank you for watching.